I posted on X on Friday morning, or maybe it was Friday early afternoon, 10 players who are either visiting Big Ten teams this weekend or potentially close to visiting, whether it's next weekend or sometime during the week this next time. Now, if you know anything about the transfer portal and visits mean a whole lot more in the transfer portal than they do in recruiting. Recruiting, you can just go visit, you got time, you got to graduate, you got to get all through all your other stuff. In the transfer portal, you don't have as much time with teams really trying to get their rosters solidified, the pressure that they put on these guys and the type of money you get thrown at them. So typically, you don't go on a visit unless you are serious about a team. So if you are going on a visit or if you are close to going on a visit for a team, it's go time. It's okay. We could get this to happen here. And I imagine Saturday, Sunday, Monday, you're going to see a whole lot of guys commit out of the transfer portal. We already saw it happening on Friday when it was the first day guys could come in for visits. Now you're going to see even more guys able to come in. And we're going to talk about the 10 guys on this list. And I have a few more that we discovered throughout the day on Friday that I'm going to mention as well. So, first and foremost, I don't even know if I consider this one of the 10 guys. He was just on the list. But at this point, it feels like everybody knows what is happening with Juke Harris out of Wake Forest, most likely going to Michigan. Jamie Shaw on 3 put in a prediction for him to go there. And Juke Harris is kind of like Yaxel Lindeborg last year, where he is going to test the NBA draft waters and see what that looks like. You could even see him maybe like commit with, or like go to the NBA draft process with a commit to Michigan or something. Like that would not be totally surprising. But I imagine Juke Harris is going to be one of those guys that really just says, look, I want to get to the NBA. Do I just go now or do I go to Michigan and get myself a little bit more of some, draft increase and stuff like that? And Juke Harris might be one of those guys that just takes a little bit longer with the process and looking at it. Obviously, that happened with Axel Lindeborg last year. We saw what happened here. And I think that's ultimately the reason why Juke Harris is going to go to Michigan, because you saw everything that Dusty May can pitch to Juke Harris in this time. You can get higher draft stock. You can win a national championship. You can compete at the highest level in college basketball. A, B, C, and D. All these things, Juke Harris is going to be, he's going to be enticed by these things. And so I could definitely see this happening. The next 4 that we have are all Indiana players. So we're going to kind of go through these guys a little quick. And then maybe on the last one, I'll expand a little bit more. Darren Harris, the soon to be junior, rising junior from Duke. Sharpshooter extraordinaire, didn't play very much at Duke, but he is on a visit this weekend to Indiana. Jaeden Mustapha from Georgia Tech, he is on a visit to Indiana this weekend as well, originally from Maryland. He is from Georgia Tech, would be a nice guard piece for this Indiana team. And then obviously, who I think is probably the most coveted for Indiana of the guards right now is Marcus Burton from Notre Dame. Of course, he had the injury last season, so we didn't get to see him as much. We'll see if he gets a red shirt to be able to get another year of eligibility. I believe he only played in 10 games, and so sometimes that would be too much. Sometimes it would be too little. I would tend to think in this scenario they'll probably give him another year of eligibility, but who knows? The NCAA is being so crazy with stuff right now. We'll see what happens. But Marcus Burton would be a huge piece for this for this Indiana team if they can land him. And then the last guy, and this one's kind of being rumored. This one's not like for sure. I've not seen any official reporting on this. I've seen some kind of like loose reporting on this. So don't quote me on this is for sure happening, but it does sound like Aiden Sherrell, the Alabama transfer big man, 6'10", gonna be a sophomore from Detroit, Michigan. Sounds like he is either on campus or thinking about coming to campus sometime next week. Looks like Indiana has a really good opportunity here to possibly get Aiden Sherrell to come to Bloomington, Indiana this season. Had a good year. He was able to grab 3.8 defensive rebounds per game, 6.2 rebounds per game overall. He was able to get 2.2 blocks per game and average 11.1 points. I think Aiden Sherrell would be a huge piece for this Indiana team, especially with the front court issues that they had last season. Didn't really have scoring issues with Sam Alexis, but you did have some defensive and rebounding issues and stuff that did spark at times, but you just need more consistency. And I think Aiden Sherrell is somebody that can give you more of that consistency. A lot of other teams going after Sherrell too, so this is not one that Indiana is in on by themselves. I imagine if he's visiting, they have a good shot at getting him there, but I also wonder if Aiden Sherrell might be one of those guys that does take a number of visits and sees what happened here. So, exciting stuff for Indiana to get almost all, if not all of these guys on campus. We'll see how it works out for them, but it's going to be exciting. Another guy that is on campus for Nebraska is the Boise State big man, Drew Fielder, 6'11", 225 from Idaho, had 14.7 points per game this season at nearly 55% shooting percentage from the field. He shot 40.9% from three this season, and it wasn't on low volume three pointers. He actually shot 93 three pointers this season. I say 40, I apologize, 41% from from three this season. Drew Fielder would be a huge piece for this Nebraska team for them to be able to get another big. Just talked about Ormy or Orm, not Ormy. I said that in the video last time. Just talked about Orm in a TikTok and talked about how they need to get a big with some stretch shooting ability to kind of pair with Orm there. And Drew Fielder would definitely be that guy. Started his career at Georgetown, transferred to Boise State to get some more playing time. He actually only got very little more playing time, but he did go there and produce and have a lot of success. Only shot 25% from three at Georgetown his final year there, but then 41% from three leads me to believe that he's going to definitely be able to come to the Big Ten and be a stretch spacing threat right away, if nothing else, other than, hey, he has it on his resume that he shot this well from three. So teams are going to have to pay attention to him. Another one to look at here is Tyrone Riley. Talked about him, so I'm not going to spend too much time on him, but he is visiting Oregon this weekend. We talked about him in a previous video where we talked about players trending toward the Big Ten. So if you want more on Riley, you can go check out that video. All right, these are the guys that I would say are close to visiting. We don't have word for sure that they are going to visit, but I would say things are getting to be a good situation right now. So we might start seeing stuff pop up about this happening. Number one is Devin Brown from Davidson to Ohio State, could possibly be visiting there. He is an Ohio kid, and Jake Diebler is definitely trying to get more Ohio kids in the building there at Ohio State. And so a guy that could be a depth piece for this team, kind of battle to be a rotational player, he's going to love that and definitely go after a guy like that. Another guy, Nolan Groves from Texas Tech. He's originally from Minnesota, so he could go a little bit more home to go to Wisconsin. Nolan Groves played in 23 games this season. Not a whole lot of production, less than 1 point per game. But he was from from Texas Tech. He was a freshman this season. Would be going in next season, and he would have some ability to be a good player, a developmental type of player for Wisconsin, which, as we know, Wisconsin loves to go after guys like this, 6'5", 205 guard type of player. This would definitely be somebody that I would keep an eye on with Wisconsin, possibly getting him in there. And then another one from St. Thomas, Nolan Minnesale, I believe is how you pronounce it. I apologize if that's wrong. Apparently, he knows Austin Rapp, and he could come and join Austin Rapp at Wisconsin this season. 19.8 points per game, 51% shooting from the field, 4.6 rebounds, 4.3 assists. This would be a great get for Wisconsin if they can make it happen. I love the idea of getting somebody that Austin Rapp knows, bringing him in, and obviously Alexis Beliaskis, him moving on, but Nolan Winter sounds like he could come back. And if you do get Nolan here, it sounds like you would have a situation where maybe you have even more favorability for Austin Rapp to come back. Minnesale is a guard, so he wouldn't be taking an Austin Rapp spot or anything like that, but I really like the potential here for something like this to happen. A few more guys, and then we'll end it here. For Maryland, I got a couple guys. Dedan Thomas Jr., the guard, going to be a senior out of LSU, 15.3 points per game, 6.5 assists per game. He has been at UNLV. He has been at LSU. He's a good player. I like Dedan Thomas. You know, he didn't want to play for Will Wade there at LSU, so he gets on up out of there, and he's looking to be on the move. And I think that you could see Maryland try to get him on a visit. And in addition to him, I also think you're going to see them go after Jalen Cox, who I think Jalen Cox is a guy that was getting a little bit of interest from Illinois at the beginning for his defense and stuff, but it seems like Illinois is kind of pivoting here, trying to go after some more high-level power 2, power 4 type of players who have played consistent defense against really good teams. And not to say Jalen Cox isn't a really good defender, they just haven't seen it. It'd be more potential over production type of thing. They haven't seen it at the power two, power four, or power five, I guess, in basketball level. So Jalen Cox sounds like he is, getting some attention from Maryland to possibly go visit there. If either of these guys do visit Maryland, I would think I would be very much so in favor of Maryland to have a good chance of landing either of these guys. Two more left. Iowa is going after Washington State transfer guard Ace Glass. Now, we're going to talk about Alvaro Figueres here in the next segment, so we'll talk more about Ace Glass then. But Ace Glass had a Zoom call with Iowa on Friday. Went very, very well for Ace Glass and for Iowa, and it sounds like there's some momentum there to try and get Ace Glass on campus, maybe even on a Sunday type of visit or something like that. We'll see if it does happen, but Ace Glass, the type of player that Ben McCollum would really enjoy having on his squad, and if they can make that happen, it'd be good for him. So Andrew McKeever was someone that other people were asking about. We don't have a whole lot of news on McKeever. We don't really know what's going on with him. I wouldn't say that that's bad. We just don't have a whole lot of news on him with anything. So we don't really know what's going on with McKeever, kind of moving a little bit more silently right now. I'll go over some more of that in the Iowa video. The last one here, Malik Mack out of Georgetown, 13.6 points per game, played his freshman season at Harvard, transferred to Georgetown, now looking to transfer and possibly go and visit Nebraska. Word on the street is that Nebraska is pushing hard to get Malik Mack on campus. If they are able to do that, I also like the opportunity here for the 6'2 senior out of Maryland, 175, weighing in at 175, to be able to get a trip to Lincoln. And if he does, I like Nebraska's chances to get that one there. All right, that's what I got for you with the transfer, guys that are either visiting or close to visiting. Let me know what you think on these guys. If you got any questions about other players or anything like that, let me know. I can maybe do a segment on them if I got time or if I got an open segment at some point. So let me know what your thoughts are